Hello everyone, welcome to the Nerd Show. Today we have a very special guest with us. It's my honor to introduce former managing director at Tata Motors, Mr. Ravi Kant. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks. So, sir, it's a great pleasure to have you here, and like to have such a exceptional leader with us. uh, I want that someone who is in the early age of their career, they can learn from your leadership and your learnings. So I had a question, sir. Uh, I wanted to ask, so many young professional, including me, today are anxious about having their entire career mapped out by the age of 25. You graduated from IIT Kharagpur and went on to work in consumer electronics, two wheelers, and eventually heavy commercial vehicles. When you look back at your 20s and 30s, how much of your career was a grand master plan, and how much was simply adapting to what was in front of you?
You can't have a grand master plan in life because you assume that things will remain as they are.
Yeah,
The fact is, things keep changing, and therefore you need to continue to change along with the external change, which is not under your control. See a
yeah,
broad roadmap. Okay, I want to be there, but you don't know how to reach there, and therefore you must therefore have a kind of open mind because things keep changing, and 21st century is seeing the velocity of change increase tremendously. And in fact, last 10 years, I would say last 5 7 years, it has gone up even more.
yeah.
So the velocity of change is going so much, we have no option but to kind of have our antenna out and have an open mind. uh, because what we thought earlier that experience is a very good thing, and 30 years experience is better than 5 years experience. But now with AI coming and all that, it
Hmm.
is kind of flattening the advantage, so to say, which experience had. And therefore younger people have a tremendous advantage
Correct.
of knowing things which elders may have taken long time to learn. They can do it quite fast. So that is one. Number two is because in this AI world, uh, you people being digital natives, so to say, for you it's like fish to water. You are able to understand this much quicker, much better, and in a much more comprehensive manner than people of my age would say, for example, do it. So
Yeah.
you have a double advantage. One
Hmm.
is that experience is no more that big thing, voodoo that okay unless I have experience, so that is kind of collapsed. It's still important,
Yeah.
but the advantage has collapsed, and you have a greater advantage with elder people, and therefore I think it's a golden period for Gen Z to kind of make a very strong mark in this today's times, current times.
That's a very great approach, sir. So, I think we do feel that we have an advantage, but at the same time, what it feels like is that whenever we enter into a industry, like we are still young and there are experts in that field. So, whenever we enter the room and we are not the technical expert in that particular field, it feels like we are kind of left behind. So, we would like to learn from your example. Let's say when you switch from a particular industry, let's say consumer electronics to
Yeah.
Titan, uh, how you adapt yourself to even knowing that you might not
Yeah.
be the smartest or the
Yeah,
most technical one in the room.
sure. I think it's a great question, Mayank, which you have asked. And I think a lot of young people would struggle and may not actually see it in that light.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm going to be telling is a very important thing for people of your generation. I have worked in 7 companies. Each was in a different industry
Correct.
of which I had no knowledge of. Now, you understand the people in the company were far more knowledgeable than I, far more technically competent than I,
Yes.
but still things happened. Now, the question is therefore what happened and how did it happen?
Yes.
So, I had the inherent disadvantage of not being so technically competent than people already having experience and not knowing that. But I had the advantage of therefore have an open mind. So when people are in a particular organization, over a period of time, they kind of tend to become close minded.
Correct.
And the more successful you are, the more close minded you become because you begin to feel that I know best. What
Yeah.
I know is what matters. What I don't know really doesn't exist, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So, if you have an outsider's view with an open mind and come to it,
Yeah.
and always see, therefore, how to do it. So, if I look back at my thing, which I did about 3 4 years ago,
Mhm.
when I came to this question as to okay, then what did I do? So it all converted to one thing is that I was able to build powerful teams.
Correct.
I was able to build powerful teams. And how did I do that? And
Mhm.
here I'll take a few minutes to explain to you. This is all based on trust. Trust is the key component of it.
Yes.
And trust, I call, is consistent integrity.
Okay.
So there are two things. One is consistent, other is integrity.
Okay.
Integrity means honesty. Integrity means transparency. Integrity means fair play and equitable kind of behavior to all. This means that I'm not only honest financially or economically, I'm also honest intellectually. To me, intellectual honesty is very, 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 very important. And authenticity. You are who you are.
Correct.
And if you try to fake yourself, then you will not be able to build trust. So, second part is the consistency.
Mhm.
It is not a question of being alert when somebody is looking at me. I'm trying to be, I'm showing integrity. Integrity is shown when even when somebody is not looking at you.
Correct.
Even when you're in a closed room, you have the integrity, and you do it every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every fortnight, every year. You cannot have the I'll 364 days I'll show integrity and one day I'll take off. No, it doesn't
Correct.
happen because that one day off can call for doomsday for you. And
True.
it has happened because it has happened with many people. They are very celebrated studies where people for momentarily, they kind of lost it. And their entire career, their entire life went away. So I would say most important thing is trust. You need to build trust, and trust doesn't come automatically. It comes through behavior, and it takes
Correct.
time. If you say, tomorrow from tomorrow I'm coming to this, people should just start trusting me. No, that doesn't happen in life. Over a period of time, how you behave, how you treat people, how you do things, how you have concern for the people. Over a period of time only that people begin to trust you. Sometimes it may take 6 months, sometimes 9 months, sometimes 2 years or even more. And still, you may not have trust for everybody, but at least if 75, 80% people begin to trust you, then you have got something very, very great. So,
Correct.
first is trust. Second is collaboration. Again, in today's world, by doing, even if somebody is, let's take a cricketer who's very good.
Hmm.
But that cricketer cannot be that superlative cricketer unless he has collaboration. There is people who's to guide, the people who's to mentor, people who's to take care of psychology, people who's to take care of body, people who's to take care of mind. Unless all these things are there, you cannot be. As you know of many cricketers who lost it for 1 year or 2 years, then came back. So collaboration is very important, whether you're
Correct.
doing things in an organization or it's an individual thing like say say cricketer or sports person. In that, third is leveraging strengths.
Hmm.
You know, everybody has strengths. Normally, we tend to look at people's weaknesses and then we
Correct.
create training programs and all that. Okay, this fellow is weak in this. Okay, let's boost it up. But I have always believed why weaknesses are important. You should be aware of that. But what we should be looking at is strengths, because each
Correct.
individual in this world has strengths.
True.
Even a person who's sweeping the road or sweeping a bathroom or somebody else has a strength. So I think the idea is for you to identify the strengths, put them in a collaborative manner appropriately in an environment of trust. Mayank, when you do that, you are
Hmm.
creating such a powerful team, the power of which neither you can understand nor the team understands. Till you go for some big thing and see what happens. Now, all my life, I have done this. I have done this. And I find that
Hmm.
I would say a substantial time, substantial means 9 out of 10, I would say, it works. It works. And therefore, this is something you should keep in mind that especially in today's time, there are too many changes happening. You can't be
Hmm.
knowing everything.
True.
And therefore, you need to rely on people. And if you are able to build a powerful team, that is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. In fact, that's what leading from the back is all about. Is if you ask me in one sentence, what is it? It is building powerful teams. And in one word, what is it? It is trust.
Beautifully explained, sir. I was coming to your book, and the idea of relying on others actually reminded of your book. And I I was reading that book, and I went through it. But there's one thing which I had in mind. So someone who is like young and want to be a future leader, uh, usually they have the tendency to that they want to get noticed and promoted. How do they practice this idea of leading from behind without feeling like they are fading into the background, like they are still getting
What
noticed?
is you need to decide in life
Hmm.
what is more important, what what work you do and it should shine or you should shine. I think you need to understand this very clearly. You want the work
Hmm.
to shine, you want yourself to shine. So you can, if you want yourself to shine, you can over glorify yourself, you can
Yeah.
glorify yourself, you can be there. Some people, the previous generations is this is what it was. Leading from the front was all about this. How can I promote myself? How can I? But that kind of thing isn't working anymore. So you need to decide in life what is more important to you. Is the work you're wanting to do for it to become excellent and to shine, or for you to shine? And accordingly, you need to do.
Correct.
So these people, young people, must make that decision. There is a priority in life. What is which has a higher priority? The work has a higher priority, or your glorification is a higher priority, or glorification of work is the higher priority. So
Correct.
you need to take a call on that. If you take a call on that, I'm coming to this. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this successful. If things become successful, the recognition will come automatically. But don't chase recognition. Recognition will come automatically if you are able to do things. There's no
True.
question of that. So it will happen. But I say I have always believed that don't chase fame.
True.
Let the fame chase you.
That's a great quote, sir. Amazing. That brings me to like, if we take an example of your career, like how you exactly applied, let's say during the Jaguar Land Rover acquisition, you brought a massive British legacy brand right into the 2008 financial crisis. Instead of forcing a Tata way onto JLR, you kept the management largely independent, if I say so. How do you establish trust with a team that is culturally different and not sure about the future? Yeah, if you can explain.
Yeah. Again, it is through behavior. And I would like to go back. This happened in 2008, Jaguar Land Rover. I
Yes.
would like to go back 4 years prior to that, 2004, when we kind of took over uh, Daewoo Truck Company in South Korea,
Okay.
which was a very difficult thing. People didn't speak English, their culture, everything was very, very different.
Hmm.
Uh, so one thing we said, because the template for acquisition was actually got built in that period. So what was it? It was a very simple thing.
Hmm.
We said we should be seen as a South Korean company in South Korea, not as an Indian company in South Korea.
Okay.
I'll repeat that. We should be seen as a South Korean company in South Korea, not as an Indian company in South Korea. It makes all the difference. If I'm seeing an Indian company, I'll go and I'll overpower everything. I'll have my people, 20 of them taking control of all that and doing it. We said no. That may be a model, and it may have worked well in from the Western world, but we want to do it differently. We are Tatas. Want to do things differently. So we said, let us therefore apply that kind of thing to this place, and we applied it, and we built trust out there. As I said, it is through behavior that trust gets built. And during the due diligence period itself, uh, the way we behaved with these people, the way we talk to these people, the way we ask questions, that
Hmm.
we were thinking all the time, showing that we have great concern for you. We have
Hmm.
great concern for you. I'd like to give one simple example
Sure.
that, there were about 10 bidders. There was an English speaking mid level manager who was assigned to us. So
Okay.
I asked him, tell us, who would you like to go with? Normally, you don't ask these questions because you're the one who's acquiring the company. Why should you ask them
Correct.
who they want to? But I said, no, we should ask them. Because at the end of the day, our philosophy was that they are the ones who will be running the company. So when I asked him, he hesitated for some time, but after that he told me
Hmm.
that, sir, we would like to go with the European company. So I said, why? So he said,
Hmm.
sir, we'll get technology and our careers will be protected. So I said, yeah, very good. So his response was very authentic, very
Hmm.
sincere, and very good.
Yeah.
And that changed our entire philosophy towards them. And we said, yes, it is very important for us, therefore, to show to them, because we felt there was a communication gap. They didn't know who Tata Motors was, they didn't know our strength. So we did a lot of things in there. And we came across as people who really cared for them.
Yeah.
So when the due diligence team was coming back,
Hmm.
these people got very emotional and they said, "Ki if our company has to go to somebody, it must go to Tata's." It was a 180-degree change
Yeah.
from sort of wanting somebody else to wanting Tata's. How did this change occur? This change occurred because we were able to create trust with them, and they felt that we are the right persons to take care of their career, their authenticity. And that's what we did after we took over the company. That's exactly what we did. And similar
Amazing.
template we applied in Jaguar Land Rover. Of course, there were many naysayers, there were many this thing. But once we got the company, we started behaving as if it is our own company that we belonged here,
Yeah.
and belonged in the sense not controlling, but
Correct.
taking care of that. And that's what we did, whether it was the workers or whether it was the managers, whether they were engineers. Of course, uh, as I said, in my book, you'll also see there is a thing called be tough softly. So as far as the target is concerned, as far as the change is concerned, you be tough, but
Yeah.
don't treat human beings as human beings. Don't treat human beings as machines. Don't treat human
Yeah.
beings as somebody else.
Correct.
Through your behavior, there you are able to tell them that actually you are looking after the interests of the company and therefore their own interests.
Great, sir. Amazingly explained. Uh, like this Jaguar Land Rover success is amazing, but with the wins there comes losses, and I think the plant issue with the Tata Nano was a bit kind of a loss, and there were few nightmares for sure. So how do you think you someone who go into that kind of situation can keep the morale of the team and keep everyone motivated in even in the tough times? If you can just touch upon that and how you dealt with it.
You see, I'll come back to the team building team.
Hmm.
So when you have the team and everybody is very authentic, everybody is sincere, everybody is trusting each other. So
Yeah.
you know if you have taken a decision, you know that decision is the right one for the organization.
Yeah.
Although that decision results in hurting you, in disappointing you a lot, but you know that decision was a correct decision. And therefore, in fact, you have taken a right example. You know, when we took the decision and we decided to go to to Sanand in Gujarat,
From Singur.
1300
Yes.
yeah, kilometers away, 1300 kilometers away. You know, the same, they were very, very disappointed. It was a great shock, great this thing for engineers who had worked there, given their blood, toil, everything to it and to made it happen because the production was just about to begin.
Correct.
And then to take a decision and take everything. So we we did three things.
Hmm.
One was that we dismantled the entire factory nut by nut, bolt by bolt, put them into 1400 containers and lug them across the country to the other side, again 1300, kilometers. That is one thing. While this was being done, we were building a factory in Sanand.
Hmm.
You understand? In
Correct.
so year and a half. And because Mr. Tata had already said that promise is a promise,
Yeah.
so he said now this is going to take 1.5 years. Dismantling here, putting factory here. So we just opened a factory in Uttarakhand to produce ACE, which is a commercial vehicle.
Hmm.
So factory is very different from a passenger car factory. But our engineers then did a fantastic job that carved out a portion. We started producing about 100 or 150 cars, I forget how much, per day from Uttarakhand factory.
Amazing.
I tell you, in the world, this is a unique example. Nowhere in the world this has happened where one factory is being taken down, another factory is being done, and third place the production is starting,
Started.
albeit in small. You know, this is, I would say, a fantastic job with the engineers too of Tata Motors and the managers of Tata Motors did. It's all kudos. It is it is something which is unique in the world, in any industry.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And it answers your question that in spite of having a huge disappointment, in spite of this thing, they kept the spirit alive and they built these things and they did this thing. They said, no, we are not going to be defeated just because this thing has happened. We are going to. So you got to have that kind of spirit. And that spirit is what really made all the difference. So creating team and having that kind of spirit and having creating that kind of pride is very, very important in an organization.
Amazing, sir. That's a really inspiring story, and a lot, a lot of people can learn from this. Uh, you talked about Ratan Tata, sir. Like, if we can touch upon your learnings from him and, the things you have learned over the years from him, and, what was the impact of him, if we can talk about a little.
Well, I can talk about him for hours together, but and there
Yeah,
are many things which I learned.
yeah.
But I'll pick out one thing.
Hmm.
I am a person who is very positive minded and who also thinks big.
Yeah.
But till I came in touch with Mr. Tata, till started observing him, seeing him,
Hmm.
I didn't understand what is the meaning or size of big. It is only with him that I understood what big can be, how big can be. So if in my view it was so much, then in
Yeah.
his Mr. Tata's this thing it was so much.
Yeah.
So his thinking of big and bold and out of the current thinking, current way is absolutely fantastic. It is this which made us aware. Though okay, you can take the trust, you can take the risk, and because he had three things, if I may say so.
Hmm.
He never told you what to do,
Okay.
but he encouraged you to do things.
Yeah.
So you were allowed to think big and bold.
Hmm.
Now, number one. Number two, he gave you the chance to execute it
Yeah.
without interfering in it. Number
That's
three, he gave you the psychological safety that in case things went wrong, you will be taken care of. If you have taken a decision genuinely and in interest, and things can go wrong in life, so it will
yeah.
not be, it will be taken kindly. And when I talk about that, means he was able to build that trust. The
Yeah.
unique bond of trust was huge between him and I, and
Yeah.
between many other people. But I'm talking about myself here.
Correct.
So that is why I'm saying, if in a team you are able to build trust, then you are building psychological safety. That psychological safety is a very unique thing, because it then allows people to open their minds, allows people to share things, allows people to think it is their own, allows people to think in a very very different manner. And that is absolutely, I would say very unconventional.
Hmm.
It seems very kind of mundane, but I
Hmm.
tell you, able to create team and create psychological safety is a unique thing. Not everybody can do it. It's a unique thing, and it is very very powerful thing. That's what I can tell you, because we are now applying this philosophy in different companies, small companies, big companies,
Yeah.
and we are fighting ir- invariably in each instance. It has made remarkable change.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing this with us, sir. Uh, like, on a closing note, if we could summarize the few things one should, keep in mind when they're thinking of building something, or, managing people. I think you have covered trust, leadership, uh, honesty, and team building spirit. But if there's something else you want to add on to it on a closing note.
Yeah. Okay, let me add one thing.
Sure.
The buzzword today is AI,
Yeah.
and everybody has to ride the tiger of AI.
Yeah.
What it will do, yes, there are many advantages, but there are many disadvantages also, and we need to be careful. So we have done some study,
Hmm.
and we find that 75% of AI implementation fail worldwide. 75%. There are many studies, you can go to net and find out.
Sure.
So one of our colleagues went deeper into it,
Hmm.
and he looked at 23 industries and did a lot of LLM models he used and all. And
Hmm.
he then came across what kind of culture, what kind of traits of leadership, what kind of this thing actually help in succeed in implementing AI. And what he found was the kind of thing that we are talking about, the kind of thing that leading from back is we are talking about, is
Yes.
there's a 0.85 correlation, means very strong correlation. So what it means is if you want to implement AI successfully in your organization,
Yeah.
then follow the principles which are there in leading from the back, Wali Kitab. That's one.
Mm.
Number two is because I'm talking to Gen Z people, you and several others. We did another study,
Okay.
like like which are the good places to work, where do you want to go, where feel happier and all that.
Yeah.
Again, we found that there's this very strong correlation, very
Yeah.
very strong correlation. So then we started seeing as to why it is this.
Hmm.
Then we came to this conclusion that central point of all these things is trust. Our central core is trust.
Yeah.
uh, Best places to work for or you want to go there is trust,
Trust.
and AI is trust.
That's great.
So everything actually, trust is one thing which actually weaves everything around. So I would say in life, I just want to end this here. In life, if you really want to do things for I would say for sustainable period of advantage, or you want to say it can be there for a long, built on trust.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your knowledge and your guidance with us. That's amazing, and thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
again for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.